The Rock is not dead, which is great. I hope Dwayne stays alive forever. But the fact that he's still alive and so successful only means that he's become a victim of the most famous quote from Batman Dark Knight. He's lived long enough to see himself become a villain. The Rock joined TKO's board of directors, and just 10 days later, he booked himself into the main event of WrestleMania 40. As a result, fans were furious as they felt he was going to steal Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania main event. There are so many more signs and examples of The Rock's hostile takeovers and dictatorship behavior, and we're going to get into all of them. So subscribe, sit down, and shut up! No, I'm just playing. That's just my Dwayne Johnson impression. Rock is now leaning into his villainry, brilliantly I might add, with a fantastic performance at Thursday's WWE WrestleMania press conference. That press conference was so good, the press conference should have had a press conference. Having said that, The Rock and WWE is always going to be an uphill battle. It took just 10 days for one of the most beloved figures in sports and entertainment history to get the type of backlash that Vince McMahon and WWE got 10 years ago when they tried to shut out Daniel Bryan from WrestleMania 30. Like Vince, The Rock owns the XFL and is about to relaunch the troubled league as the UFL in its 4th iteration. Like Vince, The Rock is a prominent board member of WWE's parent company, TKO. Like Vince, The Rock has full ownership of the Rock name and likeness. Let's just keep it a buck. The Rock is picking up on all of Vince's sloppy seconds. At this rate, Linda McMahon will be his date to the WWE Hall of Fame. There's another dirty truth about The Rock that's strikingly similar to Vince in that many of The Rock's ventures outside of wrestling failed. There's a whole video from Patrick CC that goes into detail of The Rock's pattern of failure, which actually makes his successes even more impressive. And that pattern of success and failure also makes The Rock comparable to Vince. Vince McMahon really only excelled at pro wrestling. Vince failed at football with the XFL. He failed at bodybuilding with the WBF. He failed at supplements with IcoPro. He failed in MMA with the Brawl for All. He failed in movies with WWE Studios. And even though he was great at keeping women quiet for decades, Vince ultimately failed at that too when Janelle Grant filed a lawsuit about alleged sex trafficking. Before he became The Rock's football career was cut short due to injury. He's now the owner of the UFL, which has failed more than it succeeded. He even failed in his first wrestling gimmick as Rocky Maivia during the Die Rocky Die movement that could have easily turned him into Curtis Axel. But like Vince, The Rock is resilient and always seems to rise from the ashes like the People's Phoenix. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I mean like the corporate Phoenix. The Rock failed with the Black Adam franchise after an apparent falling out with director James Gunn. A fallout that happened after The Rock evolved his career from movie star to head of 7 Bucks Production, where he developed a bulletproof formula for making hit movies, but also started to show signs of a dictator, one who wanted full creative control, just like Vince. For so long, The Rock could do no wrong in Hollywood or in wrestling. And when The Rock's acting career would falter in Hollywood, he just returned to pro wrestling where everybody would always love him, and it would kickstart his career when he'd go back to movies. That's what happened in 2003. That's what happened in 2011. That's what's happening right now amid the Black Adam disaster. But now, something weird is happening. The Rock, whom a lot of people have seriously suggested should run for president because of his lovability, has turned heel. The Rock was tone deaf in his latest return. He returned thinking that he was The Rock. But unlike his last return at WWE Raw Day 1, this time he walked into Birmingham, Alabama as Dwayne the Executive. It's funny that The Rock now has full control over his name and likeness because he doesn't need it. He's not The Rock anymore. He's a board member of one of the most powerful companies in the world. And for wrestling fans, that alone will turn him heel. The Rock died as a hero, but Dwayne the Executive has lived long enough to see himself become a villain. Though a small sample size, Dwayne Johnson, with all his influence in WWE, is a bad thing for wrestling. Triple H is a great booker in the sense that he's a student of the game. He's 24/7 WWE. He's worked with so many young talent who went on to become big stars in WWE and understands long-term storytelling in modern-day wrestling. When Vince McMahon returned for a brief stint last year, Triple H's booking became compromised. The same thing happened when NXT lost the Wednesday Night Wars and Triple H was blamed for it, leading to Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard taking over NXT. At that time, they decided to splash it with colors and call it NXT 2.0. These were the dark ages of WWE on Tuesday nights before Shawn Michaels came in and saved it. The Rock doesn't have any interest in developing the young stars of tomorrow, nor does he have time for such interests. Judging by the fact that The Rock reportedly put into his contract that he must main event WrestleMania 40, as a board member, The Rock's only interests are The Rock. My fear is that The Rock's power in WWE, which can overrule Triple H in a second, will have the same effect as when Vince McMahon tinkered with a perfectly fine product. The fact that The Rock is main eventing WrestleMania at all is similar to Vince McMahon's booking. No, not the disgraced alleged predator Vince McMahon, but former WWE and ECW world champion Vince McMahon. People forget, but Vince booked himself to win the WWE title at age 54 in 1999. Do-Rag Vince went on to win the ECW World Championship in 2007 at age 62. Vince booked himself on WWE television pretty much until his final days when he had to be ousted. And given how much Dwayne Johnson loves Dwayne Johnson, I hope he doesn't go down a similar road of forcing himself into TV and storylines. Much like Vince had Bruce Pritchard as his right-hand man, The Rock has Brian Gewirtz. Brian seems like a great guy. He follows me on Twitter, read his book, and he's very talented at what he does. Brian helped build $7 Production into a $3 billion company. Clap for him. But Rock has developed a pattern of wanting to call all the shots and alienates anybody who disagrees with him creatively. So with WrestleMania season being hijacked by The Rock, the question is, will Triple H be the new Vin Diesel? Only time will tell. Check out this playlist and subscribe. Will The Rock wear out his welcome as a WWE executive? Tell me in the comments!